Welcome to this explainer. Okay, I want you to start by imagining something right now. Just close your eyes for a second. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, getting ready for the day, and suddenly discovering that your primary source of income has completely stopped. Maybe your company downsized unexpectedly, maybe your business just lost its absolute biggest client out of nowhere, or, perhaps a sudden illness is preventing you from working for the next few months. Whatever the cause is, the income is just gone.
So ask yourself this one kind of uncomfortable question. How long could you continue paying your bills without borrowing money? I know I'm forcing you to confront a really harsh reality right off the bat, but that's because for a lot of us, the honest answer is incredibly stressful. For some folks, it might be a few weeks, maybe 1 month if they stretch every single penny, and for others, it's honestly only a few days. This stark reality is exactly why financial experts all over the world consider what we're talking about today to be the absolute bedrock of personal finance. But first, we need to completely reframe your mindset. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is believing that emergencies are rare, avoidable accidents. They absolutely aren't. Cars eventually need repairs. Your tire is definitely going to find the only nail on the road, right? Jobs are sometimes lost. The toaster decides to blow a fuse right when you need it the most. These are not unusual, once-in-a-lifetime events. They are simply a totally normal part of human life. The question isn't whether financial surprises will pop up, but whether you'll be prepared when they do.
So, here is our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to confront the reality of emergencies, compare liquidity to long-term investing, set some very manageable milestones, figure out exactly where to store your cash, and finally, walk through a step-by-step guide to building your financial resilience.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, the reality of emergencies and the cost of being unprepared.
The whole concept here really hinges on one single keyword: unexpected. An emergency fund is exactly what it sounds like. It's money set aside specifically for unexpected financial emergencies. Think of it as your personal financial insurance. But I need to be super clear about what this is not. This cash is not for that beach vacation you've been wanting to take. It's definitely not for buying the newest smartphone. It exists strictly for situations that you cannot reasonably predict or avoid, like a sudden medical emergency or a major urgent home repair. Life is always going to throw surprises at us, and this fund is your insurance policy against them. Let's look at a really practical example. Meet Rahul. Rahul faces a sudden car repair costing 25,000 rupees. Without any savings, he's forced to put that on a credit card. Boom. High interest charges immediately kick in, meaning that 25,000 rupee repair suddenly costs way, way more. His financial burden increases and his daily stress goes completely through the roof. But if Rahul has an emergency fund, he simply pays the 25,000 flat in cash. No debt, no crazy interest rates. The emergency is still super annoying for sure, but it doesn't become this financially destructive force. He limits the damage entirely. Moving right along to Section 2, liquidity versus long-term investing, and the foundation of wealth. People ask this all the time, and it's a great question. Why do financially successful people prioritize holding cash savings before going heavy into investments? Shouldn't you invest every available rupee to get a return? Well, the answer lies in timing and purpose. Emergency funds are designed specifically for short-term protection and liquidity. You need it right now. Investments, on the other hand, are designed for long-term growth, and they inherently come with a lot of volatility. Let's use a fantastic analogy to explain this. Imagine you're building a house. Your investments, those are like constructing your upper floors. But your emergency fund, that's the foundation. If you invest all your savings into the stock market and then suddenly lose your job during a market downturn, you're going to need cash immediately. If you don't have this cash foundation, you might be forced to sell your long-term investments at exactly the wrong time, taking a massive loss. Having cash actually protects your long-term investments. They don't compete with each other. They actually work together to make the entire structure of your wealth totally secure. Okay, Section 3, setting small, manageable milestones. Remember, progress over perfection. So what is the magic number? Exactly how much money should be in this fund? You actually base this entirely on your essential survival expenses, the stuff you absolutely need to live, like rent, food, and utilities. Let's say those bare basics total 40,000 rupees a month. Your beginner 3-month target is simply that number multiplied by 3, giving you 120,000 rupees. Now, depending on your job stability and family situation, experts recommend eventually scaling that up to 6 or even 12 months. The exact target depends entirely on your personal circumstances and your own risk tolerance. But hey, before you get totally overwhelmed by those big 6-figure targets, let's talk about the absolute magic of just 10,000 rupees. Listen, progress matters far more than perfection here. If you have zero savings right now, hitting just this very first milestone is a massive victory. That first 10,000 can cover so many small, annoying emergencies. A minor medical expense or a quick car repair no longer creates a full-blown crisis. Even a small financial buffer massively decreases your daily psychological stress. The key is just to start small. Which brings us to Section 4, where to store your cash, prioritizing reliability. Now that we have a target in mind, we have to talk about the extremely strict rules for where this cash actually belongs. It has three main requirements. First, safety. The money absolutely cannot be exposed to significant risk. Second, accessibility. You must be able to reach it the literal moment you need it. And third, liquidity. You can convert it to usable cash quickly. Because of these three pillars, your emergency fund belongs in standard savings accounts, high-yield savings accounts, or money market accounts. It absolutely positively does not belong in crypto, stocks, or long-term real estate. The absolutely crucial point you must remember is this: maximize reliability, not returns. Your goal here is not to get rich off the interest rate. Think about it. If your money is tied up in some speculative asset and the market crashes the exact same week your roof starts leaking, well, that money has completely failed its purpose. You are buying reliability and peace of mind. You want an absolute guarantee that the money is sitting right there, waiting for you when disaster strikes.
All right, finally, Section 5, your step-by-step guide for taking action today.
Let's pull this all together into an actionable, super simple process you can literally start today. Step 1. Calculate those bare-bones essential monthly expenses. Step 2. Set an initial, highly achievable target. Remember that 10,000 rupee milestone we just talked about? Step 3. Automate your savings transfers so you don't have to rely on daily willpower. Step 4 is critical. Treat this contribution like a mandatory utility bill. Pay yourself first. And finally, Step 5. Stay consistent. Building this foundation is all about regular, small deposits over time, not waiting around for some massive windfall. Now, as you start this journey, please avoid the classic traps that sabotage beginners. A highly discounted flat-screen TV? Not an emergency. Do not put this cash into volatile crypto tokens, hoping it doubles overnight. Do not wait until your income increases to start. Financial habits matter way more than income levels. Do not lock the money away in an account where it takes weeks to access. And please, please do not believe that having a high limit on your credit card replaces the need for actual cash savings. Debt only creates additional financial obligations during a crisis. I want to wrap up this explainer with a really vital truth. An emergency fund may never make you rich, but it can stop one unexpected event from becoming a complete financial disaster. That emotional peace of mind, it's worth far more than any investment return. You now have the blueprint. Start calculating your baseline expenses today, set that very first small milestone, and begin building your financial foundation. So ask yourself, if the unexpected happens tomorrow, will your financial foundation crack, or will it hold steady?